Hello and welcome back to another podcast. And today we will be talking about the top 10 greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars. Number 10, Bazine Nettle. If it surprises you that Bazine Nettle is on this list, you've probably only seen her short cameo in The Force Awakens. If, however, you've read The Perfect Weapon, you know precisely why she's here. The Perfect Weapon chose Bazine Nettle for what she really is, the perfect weapon. Bazine was orphaned at a very young age after being orphaned. She was taken in Delphi Clado and trained in multiple forms of combat. Her training, coupled with her own violent tendencies, morphed her into a being capable of terrible things. This was so much that when the opportunity rose, she killed Delphi Clado, the same man that rescued her from a life of solitude. 9. Dengar. You probably recognize Dengar as one of the many bounty hunters to appear in The Empire Strikes Back. It's no coincidence that he was called upon when a bounty was put on the head of Han Solo. Dengar is as ruthless as he is ugly. He's violent, brutal, and has no problem getting his hands dirty if the job requires it. He began working during the Clone Wars and continued working well after its conclusion. Like many others on this greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars list, Dengar has not always worked alone. He has teamed up with the likes of Boba Fett, Asajj Ventress, and others if the job pays enough. Number 8. Embo. Embo is different from the others on this list in the sense that he will align himself with whoever pays him the most. This means that his past has seen him side with the Jedi, the Sith, other bounty hunters, and even innocents looking for protection. It isn't, however, his alignments that separates him from the others on this list. Unlike most others, his skill as a bounty hunter isn't derived from his understanding of complex technologies. Instead, his skills from his understanding of himself. Embo is one of the most physically impressive beings in Star Wars, something he uses to his every advantage. Number 7. IG-88. Surely by now you've watched, or at least heard, how great the Mandalorian show is on Disney+. Not only does the show take an intimate look at the world of Star Wars, but it also shows exactly why the IG droids are so feared. IG-88 first appeared in The Empire Strikes Back and immediately gained a following worth talking about. He appeared alongside fellow bounty hunters Boba Fett, Bossk, Dengar, Zuckuss, and a few others, and was commissioned to bring Han Solo in. Although not shown in the original trilogy, IG-88 is capable of mowing down an entire fleet of enemies with his fast draw, his needle-like precision, and his willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done. Number 6. Bossk. Very few creatures in the galaxy have what it takes to stand up to and defeat a Wookiee in battle. Bossk is one of those creatures. Bossk is a Trandoshan, and as a Trandoshan, is formidable in hand-to-hand combat, more than capable with any weapon, and is one of the greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars. Along with Aurora Singh, Bossk was responsible for teaching Boba Fett most of what he knows. Bossk was so loyal to the child that if he asked, he always did whatever it took to see him succeed. As Boba grew, he and Bossk joined the Bounty Hunters Guild and quickly cemented themselves as two of the guild's best. Number 5. Aurora Singh. While many of the greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars do their best to avoid hurting or killing the innocent, Aurora Singh, doesn't. She is as ruthless as she is unique looking. Due to this, she's immensely popular among the scum in Star Wars. Over time, she has aligned herself with the likes of Cad Bane, Hondo, Naka, Boba Fett, Jango Fett, Embo, and more. Don't let her alignments fool you, however. Aura is loyal to no one. If an opportunity comes that sees Aura gain at the expense of an ally, she will take it without a second thought. If all of this doesn't convince you about her place on this list, remember this. Singh, with the help of Boss, trained and raised Boba Fett to be one of the galaxy's premier bounty hunters. 4. Jango Fett. There isn't a single bounty hunter who can boast what Jango Fett can boast. Not only did Count Dooku pay Jango Fett millions of credits to be the genetic template for the clone army, but he was also gifted one of the clones to be his son. Of course, that clone would become Boba Fett. Jango was never meant to be as popular as his son, Boba. There's no way he could be. What he was, however, was effective above being hired to kill Queen Amidala. Jango was also successful capturing both Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker. Number 3. Asad's Ventress. Once the apprentice to Sith Lord Tyrannus, Asad's Ventress was one of the most feared assassins in the galaxy. After being cast away by Tyrannus, Ventress took to the life of bounty hunting and remained there for most of her life. Asad's Ventress is unique in the world of Star Wars bounty hunters due to her choice to wield 2 lightsabers and use her Force abilities. Because of this, she was loved by her employers and hated by her rivals. After all, using both put her at a small advantage over all of those around her. Asajj was quick, deadly, and if given the smallest chance of success, completed every job she took on. Number 2. Cad Bane. If there's ever proof needed about the saying, never judge a book by its cover, Cad Bane is that truth. Cad Bane looks like a science experiment gone wrong. He breathes through a special device to help prevent Force abilities from being used on him. He has a voice that sounds like he's a chain smoker. Cad Bane wears a costume that belongs into the Wild West and has piercing red eyes. Underneath all of that, however, one of the greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars. Cad Bane is so prolific at his craft that he's earned himself a reputation as being the go-to hunter if Jedi are involved. Cad Bane is as deadly as he is strange looking. As such, he is often the first to be thought of when unusual bounties come up. Number 1. Boba Fett. Very few characters in cinema have ever become as popular with as little screen time as Boba Fett. Throughout the entirety of the original trilogy, Boba Fett spoke a total of 27 words and appears for just over 6 minutes. Even with a small screen time, George Lucas knew that he had someone special and marketed the crap out of him. Boba Fett is arguably the most famous of all the greatest Star Wars bounty hunters, and for good reason. He gave rise to our love of Mandalorians, had one of the fiercest looks that the movie goers had ever seen, flew one of the coolest ships in Star Wars, and delivered the bounty that other greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars couldn't. Simply put, without him, this list wouldn't exist. And that's it. The top 10 greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars. What did you think? Well, who would you make your greatest bounty hunters in Star Wars list? See you next time.